morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to look at V-Union. And basically what I'm doing here is I'm answering a question that I've had from a whole bunch of people. And that question very simply is, hey Wossy, what's going on with V-Union? Have we seen the last of the V-Union? And I can answer that question, is have we seen the last of them, very quickly and very easily with a very definitive answer. The answer is no. Because next Friday the 8th of April, although it does look like it's been delayed in some territories and that is a little bit rubbish, we are getting the Morpeko V-Union collection. And that's going to bring us Morpeko V-Union. So I can tell you with a high degree of certainty that no, we've not had every V-Union released. Another one is going to be released soon. But then we raise the question of, well, what about after that? What's going on with V-Union? Are we going to see any more after that? And that is a much more interesting question. Now, one of the things that surprises me a lot, and I've been very, very honest and very clear about this, is the whole VMAX thing. Because we reached the end of year 2 of the Pokemon trading card game, in terms of Sword and Shield, and then we moved into year 3, and we started off in Japan with Starbirth that had no VMAXs, and then we moved on to Battle Region which had no VMAXs, and both of those sets had V-Star, and very clearly V-Star had replaced VMAXs. And then we had a random Pikachu VMAX released as a Coro promo, and I was like, it's a random one-off promo, who really cares? But then Sword and Shield 10 came around, and it's a double set, and each of those had one Pokemon VMAX. We've got ourselves a Heatran VMAX and a Machamp VMAX, and at this stage I'm just super confused because they finished with VMAXs. It wasn't like maybe they're still here, maybe they're not. No, VMAX is finished. They were done. And then they randomly brought them back after 2 sets off, which doesn't really make any sense to me, and I'm just a bit confused about that. And I mention this story because we need to bear that in mind as we look at V-Union. There is every possibility that we're fairly sure V-Union are gone forever, and then Pokemon turn around and they're like, psych, here's a new one. So please do bear that in mind as we go. But as it stands at the moment, all these questions I've been receiving from you guys about V-Union and their future, it's absolutely fair. Because even Morpeko isn't a new card. It's just not. VMAX Climax is where we got Morpeko V-Union from, and that launched in Japan on the 3rd of December 2021, right in the early stages of December. So, essentially, we're fairly sure at this stage there's no V-Union in Sword and Shield 10, because they revealed all the V-Star, they've revealed all the VMAX, we've had the reveal of the set, and we've not heard anything about V-Union. So that essentially gives us 4 months since they released the last V-Union in Japan with not even a word. And again, I say release because remember these things tend to get revealed and leaked, etc. far in advance of actually being released. So it's not just that they've had 4 months since they released it, it's been a fair bit longer since they actually went and revealed it, showed us what it was. VMAX Climax was surprising because they brought us in Morpeko V-Union, and not for nothing, the character super rare of Morpeko V-Union. And they brought these in as a real surprise. Because when we saw the booster pack for VMAX Climax, we can see there the logos, Pokemon V, well that's expected. Pokemon VMAX, well it's literally called VMAX Climax, we expect VMAXs to be in the set. V-Union? And that really raised the question of why is the V-Union logo on the VMAX Climax pack? Because, well, hang on a second. Are they reprinting some? What are they doing? And the answer was Morpeko. And this is always kind of weird, because although Japan has had Morpeko in VMAX Climax, and another we'll get to in a moment, we've never had V-Unions coming in packs. There have been, including Morpeko, exactly 5 V-Union that have gone and been released. So we had the first wave of V-Union, they were free in their own boxes. That was your Greninja, your Mewtwo, and your Zacian. Now, as an interesting side note, in Japan, these were also released in their own boxes. So we got each of those in their own box where you got the V-Union and the Jumbo version and some packs. And in Japan, they had a very similar thing with the V-Union and the packs, although they didn't get the Jumbo. And Jumbo V-Union are so cool because, it's 4 cards that fit together. Having one big card all in one piece showing the artwork is amazing. So we had those, and they were kind of free things, and we were like, oh, cool, so V-Union are a thing now. We've had these free in Japan, we've had these free over here. Presumably every kind of few months we'll get more of these. And then it all went a little bit silent. And then Celebrations came around, and as I'm sure most of you know, Celebrations brought in Pikachu V-Union, which is an especially cool card because it's the 25th anniversary of the Pokémon brand, and we got this card with 25 Pikachu drawn by 25 different artists, which is clearly amazing. And again, it was its own standalone product, but it wasn't over in Japan. Over in Japan, the 25th anniversary set just had this in there, and it was really cool. They were 5-card packs, and essentially you always got yourself a Holo Energy and 4 other cards, but if you got Pikachu V-Union, then your entire pack would be the 4 parts of Pikachu V-Union and an energy. Amazon, I did tell you this before, Amazon did this thing over in Japan where they would make this set to order, limited to 1 box per person, and you could order it to anywhere in the world. So I do actually have a box of this set, which is on pre-order, which I'm not actually going to get until August. But, in August, I'm going to be getting a box of the 25th anniversary collection. And I am very, very happy about this. It's going to take a while, but I don't really care. Because eventually I'm going to get it and it's going to be amazing. And I very, very much hope that one of my packs has Pikachu V-Union. And then things went a little bit quiet again, but then we had VMAX Climax with 1 random Morpeko. And then we all were like, well, how are we going to get that in English? Because we don't get V-Union in packs. In Japan, they do. We don't get them in packs. And the answer was a Morpeko V-Union box. And I've mentioned the character super rare before. I'm not going to get into it here. We have no idea how this is going to be released. Maybe we never get it. Maybe it's in its own box in the future. We just don't know. So we end up with that one, and we're at 5 in total. And then since then, nothing. But this is where it gets awkward. Because when I was predicting the VMAXs were done, and let's be clear, they did stop and then restart, we had 2 proper sets in Japan where they had been replaced by V-Stars, and even now they've kind of brought them back, but Sword and Shield 10, you've got 4 V-Star and 2 V-Max, it's all very strange. But there we had a regular cadence. We could look at the fact that we had 2 years worth of Sword and Shield sets, all of which had V-Maxs in. And then we went into year 3, and they tend to change things up as we go into a new year, and they brought in V-Stars and they stopped putting V-Maxs into sets, and that meant that we could go, right, well, here's what's going on with V-Maxs, it is pretty obvious they've gone. And then they brought them back, and I'm still very confused about that. But when it comes to V-Union, it's not the same. We don't have that regular cadence. We had the 3 boxes on their own, then we had Pikachu V-Union, but again, that was really part of the 25th anniversary celebration, so you can't really read anything into that, because, well, it was part of the 25th anniversary celebration. We got Greninja Star as part of celebrations, although, to be clear, that was never, that's not tournament legal or anything silly like that. So, then we end up with Morpeko, and Morpeko's a one-off in VMAX Climax, and we just end up with a giant question mark. But are we really going to have Pokemon printing Pokemon VMAX, V-Star, and V-Union all at the same time? That is a lot of different mechanics going on. That's going to get confusing for casual fans. And the fact of the matter is, as much as we didn't have any VMAXs in year 3, until I suppose we did, we haven't had any V-Union in year 3. Of the Pokemon trading card game either. And I've not seen any listings. And the thing is, V-Union would probably be released as their own boxes. Definitely over here. Probably in Japan, unless they put a random one in a special set. So there's a good chance if a V-Union was coming, there would be a listing that we'd be seeing over on Japanese distributors. And as it stands at the moment, we haven't seen anything. But I don't know how confidently I can sit here and tell you that I do think V-Union are gone. Because I honestly don't know at this stage. It is super confusing, and we just don't have the answers. I think it's fair at the moment to make a presumption that they are, because we moved into year 3, because we've heard nothing, because it's been a little bit of a while, because, I mean, will we ever really all in on V-Union? You know, the way you play them is super awkward. You've got to get all 4 parts in the discard, and then you can play it onto your bench as 1 card, as long as you haven't played that V-Union. So I can use Morpeko once in the game, and if it hits the discard, I can't replay it, but I could play a different V-Union, a Pikachu, for instance. And I know some people have been playing around with Pikachu, and I've seen that pop up in deck lists. And they've all got potential, but none of these are really popping up and winning tournaments. So there's an argument to be made that they're all just a little bit awkward to use. And it may well be that Pokemon have gone, you know what, these are kind of awkward to use, and people aren't playing them, and they're kind of a pain to make, and they have to be put in their own boxes, especially over in North America, Europe, etc. Is it really worth carrying on? So they did, you know, the special Pikachu for celebrations, and they did the special Morpeko for VMAX Climax, which was very much a special set. And then they went, wow, you know what? That'll do. We can call it quits here. Or maybe there are more that are planned to be on the horizon, or maybe there's some other reason we just don't know about. But as of this moment, and I've had this question from a lot of people, after Morpeko, there is no other V-Union that we've even heard whispers about. There are no other rumours floating around, no other product listings that I can remember, unless I'm forgetting something and being a dummy. And I think at this stage, I would be surprised to see new V-Union. That doesn't mean that they are gone forever, and it doesn't mean we're never going to see another one. But when you combine the fact that it's been silent for a while, that we've moved into year 3, that we brought in V-Star, and apparently we're not done with VMAX for some reason, I do think it's fair to assume that unless we hear something else to the contrary, we might be done with V-Union. That's what I think. I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would ya? Go nuts! Be nice! Oh, and if we do get a new V-Union, tell me which Pokemon you want, eh? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.